Although the sea can be one of the most beautiful environments to explore with around 80% of it left unmapped by our kind, there's no doubt that it presents a large amount of risk. Not only have ocean waves been responsible for bringing down some of the biggest boats in the world, sea creatures waiting below the surface have been known to be dangerous. But which of these incredible sea creatures would you never want to be caught swimming with, and what makes them so dangerous? Well, whether you're a fan of the sea or just want to be able to justify why you'll never set foot in its depths, stay right where you are, as we're about to explore the most dangerous sea creatures you'll find in the ocean. So strap yourselves in and get ready for the swim of your life, as things are about to get interesting. But before we get into it, make sure to leave a like and subscribe with the notifications turned on so you don't miss out on any of the new videos we post. Number 1. The lionfish. First up on our list is the infamous lionfish, which, contrary to popular belief, looks nothing like the carnivorous animal that hunts across the plains of Africa. In fact, the sea creature actually gets its name from the vast collection of fins it has sticking out of its body. It gives the appearance of a mane of sorts. Although many different species of the lionfish exist, the vast majority of them are red, white, and zebra striped in color, with their size often being as little as your smallest teacup. As the saying goes though, dynamite comes in small packages, and nothing could be truer when it comes to the lionfish. Although it may look beautiful, the lionfish has a sting that will literally take your breath away. When stung, a creature is injected with a venom that has the result of causing nausea and breathing difficulties in human beings. It also doesn't help that the lionfish is incredibly nimble and can easily sting you if it feels like you are threatening its existence. Since the venom causes breathing difficulties, those who have chronic breathing disorders, such as asthma, should definitely stay away from these dangerous little sea creatures, as the added difficulty may in fact cause death if left untreated. And since hospitals are often far away from the vast expanses of the sea, there's not much you'll be able to do about it. In other words, swim the other way when you see one of these guys. Number 2. The great white shark. Regardless of how little someone knows about the ocean, there's no doubt that they've heard of the great white shark, which is also known as the White Death in South Africa. While sharks in general are pretty dangerous to surfers and swimmers alike, the great white shark as a species is responsible for the most number of recorded shark attacks on humans. Swimming with one of these creatures is reminiscent of what the cast of Jaws went through, although at least their version of the great white was fake. Great white sharks have been known to have rows of sharp teeth and hard skin that is difficult to pierce. They are also incredible swimmers and like to circle their prey before ripping them to pieces in a couple of swift motions. You don't want to swim alongside one of these. The majority of great white shark attacks have been a case of mistaken identity, with the sharks often mistaking swimmers and surfers alike for seals, which are one of their favorite foods. This is why many great white shark attacks result in the loss of a limb, as once a shark tastes human, it tends to swim away. There have, however, been cases of great white sharks using their teeth to attack boats, often sinking them and attacking the people who have fallen overboard. And if you really want to see these kings of the ocean up close, travel on through to South Africa, where you'll actually be able to shark cage dive. That is, if you're brave enough. Number 3. Sea snakes. If snakes on land weren't enough to make your skin crawl, just wait till you get into the next position on our list, which has been taken by the variety of sea snake species we find in the vast oceans of the world. Essentially speaking, these are snakes, which have evolved and adapted to life in the salty water, and are usually found in the Indian and Pacific Ocean. They come in a variety of shapes and sizes, and often possess a strong venom that is incredibly effective when injected into the body of a human being. Like the venom of a lionfish, the effect of a sea snake bite often results in an intense feeling of nausea, and sometimes even numbness, making it rather difficult to stay afloat. And if enough of this venom has been injected into a victim, death may even occur if antivenom is nowhere in sight. It's a good thing that these sea snakes will never purposely set out to bite swimmers, but they have been known to go on the defensive and bite whenever it feels threatened by. And considering how many people keep afloat by flapping their arms madly in the air, we can see how these snakes may feel threatened when encountering such a person. Something that might freak you out even further is the fact that some sea snakes have the ability to grow up to 9 feet in length, with their increase in size having absolutely no effect on how fast they are able to swim. Now that is absolutely terrifying. Number 4. The Textile Cone Snail. Surprisingly enough, the next creature on our list of dangerous wonders is a sea snail, which goes by the name of the Textile Cone Snail. Since we are so incredibly fond of farming sea snails and serving them with garlic and cheese, it's not often that we get scared by something so small and slow. But researchers and scientists alike have indicated that the textile cone snail is not something to be trifled with, as the venom of this sea creature is strong enough to paralyze a full-sized human almost instantaneously. This means that a single injection of venom might result in you being unable to swim up from the seabed floor, causing you to drown without so much as a how do you do. According to National Geographic, there are about 500 different species of cone snails, with the textile cone snail being the deadliest by far. They often hide themselves in their cone shells and sting curious fish and other forms of sea creatures that are dumb enough to check them out. Luckily for snorkelers, textile cone snails are not often found in shallow, intertidal waters, but rather in deep reefs. The vast majority of the time, this species of snail just wants to go about its day, not having a single aggressive bone in its body, literally. But it goes without saying that the mishandling of these snails has resulted in quite a few human deaths, which is why you'd be better off swimming with a school of colorful fish instead. Number 5. The tiger shark. Another species of shark that is incredibly dangerous is the species known as the tiger shark, which can be found close to tropical waters. What is especially dangerous about these creatures is that they often hunt in shallow waters, which means that there is a greater chance of you meeting one when swimming in a shallow beach than a great white shark. The tiger shark likes to eat just about anything that the sea will offer up to it, with the vast majority of these creatures being swallowed whole. Like other sharks, they have a tough skin that is really difficult to pierce, making them tough opponents to fight against while in the water. The only tried and tested method of injuring a shark and getting it to leave you alone is to go for the eyes and the soft area in between them. A stout kick might result in them either leaving you alone or coming at you harder, which is why the best way out of the situation is to just stay away from the tropical waters. Tigers have been responsible for a number of attacks on humans over the years, most of which lead to fatalities since this species likes to eat anything they can get their fins on. And although they are insanely dangerous, they're one of the most intriguing creatures that the sea has brought us. Did you know, for example, that the baby shark develops in its mother's body for up to 16 months until it's ready to be born? That's almost double the amount of time it takes for a human baby to develop. In other words, we'd probably still prefer to swim with these sharks than be a female one, as being pregnant for that long just can't be a great feeling. No wonder they attack everything they set their sights on. Number 6. The box jellyfish. It might have looked fun for Nemo and Dory to bounce on the tops of box jellyfish, but we guarantee you that the box jellyfish in the real world are a lot less fun. As the temperature of the oceans gets warmer, box jellyfish often find themselves closer to the shore as well, which means that people have more chance of encountering one than in the past. It may be true that touching the heads of a box jellyfish isn't at all dangerous. The same cannot be said for its tentacles, which are able to sting creatures with a massive amount of force. In fact, the sting of an ordinary jellyfish has been known to cause headaches, vomiting, muscle spasms, an allergic reaction, chills, fever, and even difficulty breathing. Box jellyfish are a lot more dangerous though, as their stings carries with them a certain amount of venom that have been known to cause death amongst humans. So as intriguing and alien as these creatures may look, it might be better to do so at an aquarium, as swimming alongside one is not a great idea at all. Number 7. The flower urchin. Last but not least, we have a unique sea creature that is pretty beautiful to look at, a fact that often hides just how dangerous it can be to swimmers. We are of course talking about the Toxoplasmus, otherwise known as the flower urchin. It is one of the most frequently encountered sea urchins and holds the title for having the world's most venom in all of the sea urchin kingdom. It might be true that they don't move around much as the other creatures on this list, but their beauty often tricks divers into wanting to touch them, and since their sting is painful and injects venom that is toxic, potent, and poisonous, there's no doubt that you'd be better off leaving them alone. What do you think of these dangerous sea creatures? Feel free to let us know in the comment section down below.